Cocke County Legislative Body United Session, Chairman Smith presiding, Mayor Ron Mathis present.
Mr. Rush, you lead us, brother.
I will go. Heavenly Father, thank you for this beautiful day. Thank you for each one that's here this evening. I pray for all these CLB members. I pray for the mayor's administration. I pray for each person that's in this audience. I pray for the Cocke County people. I pray that we'll always work together and give you the honor and the glory, Almighty God. In Jesus' name I pray, and all the people say,
Amen. Mr. Murdoch,
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks everybody for coming out tonight. If you don't mind, if you have cell phones, if you put them on silent, we greatly appreciate it. First thing on the agenda is roll call, so if you, ladies and gentlemen, don't mind to vote present. All right, next thing on the agenda is in matter of electing a chairman for Cocke County Legislative Body for 2023-24. We're going to do this by just voice vote, and we'll stay away from electronic stuff, make it quicker and smoother, if that's okay with you folks. So do we have a motion for a chairman?
the 6th District makes a motion for Norman Smith.
So we have seconds. Thank you. Any other nominations? One more time for any other nominations? If not, we have a motion for nominations to cease. Ms. Blazer, do we have a second? Ms. Blazer? So, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? I was for nominations to cease. Now for chairman, all those for myself, Mr. Smith to be your chairman. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you very much. Appreciate the opportunity again. And at this time, we'll have to do the oath of office. I, Norman Smith,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will perform with fidelity
that I will perform with fidelity
the duties to the office
the duties to the office
to which I have been
to
appointed
which I have been appointed,
and to which I am about to assume.
and to which I am about to assume.
I do solemnly
I
swear
do solemnly swear
to support the Constitution of Tennessee
to support the Constitution of Tennessee
and the United
and
States
the United States,
and to faithfully perform the duties
and to faithfully perform the duties
of the office of Chairman of the Cocke County Legislative Body
of the office of Chairman of the Cocke County Legislative Body
for 2023 through 2024 for Cocke County, Tennessee.
for 2023 through 2024 in Cocke County, Tennessee.
Congratulations.
All right, next, and again, we'll do this by voice. Do we have a matter of electing vice chairman of the Cocke County Legislative Body for 2023-24?
I nominate Ricky Bassett.
Mr. Hudson, do we have a second? Mr. Esslinger? Any more nominations? Do we have a motion for nominations to cease? Mr. Murdoch? Mr. Esslinger, second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Now, for all those nominations have ceased, all those in favor of Mr. Basham for vice chairman say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Mr. Basham.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
6th District's honor.
All right, let's move on. We'll get back to the fun part of electronics. In the matter of appointment and approval of Cocke County Legislative Body committees for 2023-2024, you've handed the packets. Is everybody through? Everybody signed up? At this time, if you want to turn them in over here. Does anybody else not turn theirs in? Ms. Slade just a few minutes to calculate everything, and she can announce the committees. Partnership. Which one? Nobody. Which one y'all want to serve on? Jeff said he.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
You know the first one speaks up, so always loses.
You just want to go and call them, I'll do it.
Ready? Let me read the committees to make sure everybody's in agreement, and then we'll have a real quick voice vote on that and move on, okay? Public Safety, Bill Miller, Gavin Blazer, Tracy Stepp, Jeff Esslinger, Wilma Ball, Rick Vassar, Mr. Lehman. General Committee, Mr. Miller, Ms. Blazer, Mr. Stepp, Mr. Templin, Ms. Ball, Mr. Veradol, and Mr. Hudson. County Corrections Partnership, Mr. Ford, Mr. McMahon, Mr. Smith, Mr. Esslinger, Mr. Bright, Mr. Vassar, Mr. Lehman. Audit Committee, Mr. Ford, Ms. Blazer, Mr. Smith, Mr. Esslinger, Mr. Bright, Mr. Vassar, Mr. Hudson. Beer Board, First District, Charlie Manus, Second District, Thad Balch, Third District, Andrew Fowler, Fourth District, L.D. Audier, Fifth District, Amy Swafford, Sixth District, David Maines, and 7, Darrell Lindsay. We have a motion to approve. Mr. McMahon, do I have a second? Mr. Vassar? No, we're just gonna do both. Unless you're already set up.
No, I'm not set up, that's okay, I mean, it's fine with me, either way you want to do
Okay,
it.
we'll just do it voice vote. That's okay. All right, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion carries.
Yes.
Then we'll move on to approval of minutes. So, for approval of minutes, oh, wait, Ms. Smith, we'll let you get that.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
If I had it in the vote, now I have to
I
add it.
apologize.
That's okay.
Just trying to make it easier on you. Okay, all right. Shalay said she would make copies of all these and mail them, email them to you, let sure everybody remembers what committees you're on. All right, sorry about that.
That's okay.
All right, in the matter of approving the minutes from last meeting, we have a motion to approve. Ms. Blazer, seconded by Mr. Templin. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote this time.
I can vote for him.
If you want to voice it, they'll vote for you. You got it?
He got it.
All right. All right, that motion carried. Next thing on the agenda is elections, appointments, and reports. Notaries, Julie D. Newman, Tammy Lynn Sims, Lucas Scott Lunsford, Shannon Michelle Lane, Virginia Gail Setberry, Madison Kaylee Ray Stewart. We have a motion to approve. Mr. Esslinger, seconded by Mr. Hudson. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote at this time. All right, that motion carried. In the matter of accepting the quarterly revenue and expenditures report for the Cocke County Board of Education, we have a motion to approve. Mr. McMahon, seconded by Mr. Vassar. Any questions? Hearing none, we'll vote at this time, please. That motion carried. Now, in the matter of any committee reports, budget.
Mr. Chairman, the Budget Committee recommends the approval of the attached transfers and amendments and waives the reading of the same for the county.
We have a motion to approve. Mr. Hudson, seconded by Mr. Esslinger. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote at this time, please. Motion carried. Next.
Mr. Chairman, the Budget Committee recommends the approval of the attached transfers and amendments and waives the reading of the same for the school system.
All right. Do we have a motion to approve those? Mr. Miller, seconded by Mr. Vassar. Any questions? Hearing none, we'll vote at this time, please. That motion carried.
Mr. Chairman, the Budget Committee recommends the approval of the attached transfers and amendments and waives the reading of the same for the food service.
Do we have a motion to approve? Mr. Hudson, seconded by Mr. Esslinger. Any questions? We'll vote at this time. Mr. Hudson said she didn't have her vote. All right, thank you. That's all right. Motion carried.
Next on my list is in the matter of approving a new contract with Liberty Tire Service for the landfill. We have a new rep for our area. He has worked on our contracts. Before you is a contract that lowers our rate from $179 a ton to $142.
We have a motion to approve, Ms. Ball, and second by Mr. Ham. How much money will that save us, do you think? Just ballpark? No idea.
Sorry.
Any other questions or discussion? If hearing none, we'll vote this time, please. All right, that motion carried.
Last thing I have is, I laid in your chair, this is not new information, this is just the final report on debt obligation for all the 1.4 million that y'all approved multiple times at this point. This is just an FYI for you to have in your records, and then if I can have, noted in the minutes that I dispersed the report on debt obligation.
All right, do we have anything for sanitation?
No.
Okay. General committee? Public safety? All right. Purchasing? Okay. All right, and your matter report from the county mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members of CLB, if you look in your packets, you will see a copy of our updated code of ethics that are up for approval this year. The only significant, material change, I guess you might say, not so much significant, is on page 4, halfway down where it says sheriff sales, prohibits sheriffs and deputy sheriffs from purchasing either directly or indirectly any property sold through their own judicial sale, no matter which court is involved. That's really the only material change in the code of ethics policy. We just need approval for it.
All right. Do we have a motion to approve? Ms. Esslinger, seconded by Ms. Blazer. Any questions? Hearing none, we'll vote at this time, please. If you want to voice your vote, we'll have it. Yes. Motion carried. The report from the county attorney? Nothing? All right, in the matter of report from county commissioners?
The 6th District of Cocke County would like to make a motion to call a special meeting to consider the proposed zoning ordinance and map, as well as to consider amendments to the zoning ordinance if passed.
Okay, before we do that, we'll need a motion to suspend the rules. We have a motion by Mr. Blazer, seconded by Mr. Verdal. Any questions on suspending the rules only? That's all we're voting on. You'll let me know, just let me know when you do that. Just give them a second, they'll have to type this in. Yeah. Yes. Ms. Blazer, and we seconded by Mr. Verdal. Now, if you don't care to do it on your iPad, please. Mr. Verdal. Okay, that's fine. Any questions or discussion? If not, we'll vote this time to suspend rules. I'm assuming you're still blank. You're aye, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And this way it takes Mr. All right, that motion carried. All right, now, Mr. Verdal. I'm sorry, Mr. Bassett.
That's okay.
You go ahead. With your motion, you go ahead.
The 6th District of Cocke County would like to make the motion to call a special meeting to consider the proposed zoning ordinance and map, as well as to consider amendments to the zoning ordinance if passed.
And when would you like that meeting to take place? '26th? Okay. 26th? That's 8 days from today, yeah. 20th, so the 26th, we have the,
The 26th, that is correct.
yeah, okay, so 26th. Do we have a second? them get that typed in, and they'll put you down for the motion, and we'll get a second, then we'll get a vote. Tom?
I did have it. Now they can.
Okay, now you can do the motion, Mr. Vassar, on the iPad, and then second, well, Mr. Verdoff. Got it? Any questions? All this is a special call meeting to vote toward what his proposal was. If there's no questions, we'll vote at this time, please. Are you good? Yeah, if you could, Mr. Vassar, if you could give them that motion in writing before you leave, so they can make sure they get it correct in the public record. Thank you. And vote at this time for the special call meeting. Yes. Mr. Williams, a yes. All right, so that motion carried. So the special call meeting will be the 26th at 6 o'clock here in Surgeon Courtroom. Okay? All right. Anything else from the county commissioner? All right, if not, anything from Cocke County Commissioner? Any questions for Lucas? Hearing none, we'll move on. The matter report from Priority Ambulance Service, that copy was enclosed. Matter report from Keep Cocke County Beautiful, that copy was enclosed. In a matter report from Cocke County Corrections Partnership Committee, there's nothing to report at this time. New business. In a matter of changing the following speed limits, 4th District, English Mountain Road, lowering the speed limit from 30 miles per hour to 25 miles per hour. Let's have both of these in there. Okay, if we have to, we'll separate
Yeah,
them.
we need to.
And the 6th District, Breeze Drive, 15 miles an hour. If you don't have a problem with going ahead and approving both of these, if somebody can give me a motion, please. Mr. Esslinger, seconded by Mr. Templeton. Any questions or discussion on these speed limits? If not, we'll vote at this time, please. Mr. Leonard? Okay. All right. Thank you. That motion carried. In a matter of approving the existing road list as the official road list for year 23-24, submitted by Dwayne McAllister, road superintendent, we have a motion to approve. Ms. Blazer, seconded by Mr. Esslinger. Any questions? Hearing none, we'll vote at this time, please. All right, that motion carried. All right, C, in the matter of Galen Norwood addressing the board regarding zoning. Is Ms. Norwood here? Come on up.
First, I want to thank you for allowing me the opportunity. I appreciate your time and your consideration. I wanted to address about zoning, basically just to maybe be heard about a couple of suggestions. I would very much like for the CLB to investigate before approving anything where we're coming from. Oh gosh, nobody's ever told me I was.
Yeah, if you can speak a little closer to the microphone.
Yeah, just pull it up.
Sorry.
It's just down to you.
Yeah, they never told me that. I'm sorry. No loss of train of thought. Where we're coming from and what we're walking into. The votes you make are going to affect Cocke County for generations. And I am not against zoning, not against the planning commission. I am against the mess we're coming out of. And I would like us to clean that up before we go forward. The planning commission receives its authority to do land use controls from something called mandatory referral. That comes through ordinances and zoning. We don't have that. That would one believed that maybe they've just not been done right in the past. And instead of covering that over, I would like to see us go forward on a clean slate. I think ordinance and zoning, I think a lot of the people against you are not really against it. They're just against what we've had. They're reasonable, and they're for reasonable things, and they can be talked to reasonably. I made some copies that I'm gonna ask Chalet to email you. My printer broke, everything broke when I was trying to get here, and that's just car B. But Lydia was kind enough to send me a screenshot today, and I will tell you this to be able to write down. It's in Chalet's office, book 18, page 305 and 306. When the planning commission was formed, they were formed as an advisory committee with no land use controls, specifically subdivision regulations. So a lot of developers, myself included, and a lot of people have jumped through hoops when there's been no right to do so. We have pages and pages of regulations that not one CLB member that I have talked to, many, all the way back, has ever seen, accepted, or voted on. And if we do zoning and planning, we have to have an appeals board. You can't have zoning and ordinances without an appeals board. So I would love to see us go forward, but more intelligently than we have in the past. I'm going to leave information on a gentleman in Nashville, George Dean. He's an attorney I consulted with some years ago. He teaches land use law. He's had several books by the UCC published, and he helped write the Planning Commission handbook, the original one. He would be a plethora of information for you if you have any questions. You know that he's all about helping. So I, as a citizen, just ask that you would investigate where we're at now, and that before we go forward, we clean up where we are, and then we try to go forward as one team, one county, one people. And I believe that we can all get on that wagon, and I will do everything I can to help move that forward in my area, in Del Rio, and anywhere at all. I just ask that you would, I prayerfully ask that you would consider what I've said, look at the information I send you, and go forward from there. And I thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Yes.
I've actually looked into this in the past. The planning commission's authority for subdivision regulations is via chapter 13 of the TCA. So it's actually in the code. It's originally from the Local Government Planning Advisory Committee, which started in '73. They're the ones that told the counties to start the planning commission, which is what we did. Now the land use regulations, that is something, and I assume you're talking about the zoning, that is something that is voted in and then given to the planning commission. They're two separate things. But they do have the authority for both via the code. For the appeals board, yes, she's correct. We will have to have an appeals board. That's actually put into place by you. So it's, I believe, 3, 5, 7, or 9 members that you will appoint to the appeals board.
When I checked into this, I checked with our state attorney, not CTAS. We can call CTAS and get many different answers. And Mr. Dean that teaches this and travels the country teaching this and has helped write that handbook and has had many books published. You cannot have, and I have one of the consultants that our taxpayers pay $1,000 a month for. I had her on tape saying, you better let sleeping dogs lie when they were talking about subdivision regulations, because we don't have ordinances and zoning, and you have to have that to have subdivision regulations. The CLB has never seen a subdivision regulation.
They actually saw them a couple months ago.
I'm talking about when they were put out originally, what they've been using for years.
We're not debating this tonight.
Right, I agree. But I'm just telling you.
Right, I
You
understand.
might want to check with the
But,
state attorney and not something local to find information.
But again, thank you, Mr. Wolf.
Thank you so much.
So, we have to suspend the rules again. we have a tax situation that we need to take care of. Somebody needs a refund, and it was not put on the agenda. And I think according to them, it needs to be taken care of tonight.
Right, yes.
Um, So you guys, and gentlemen and ladies, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You ladies and gentlemen, got a copy of that, but we need to suspend the rules and take care of that tonight. So we have a motion to suspend the rules, Mr. Bryant and Ms. Blazer. Do you want to out that in or? Okay. Any questions on suspend the rules? We'll do it right now, boys, and then we'll do. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay, the rules are suspended. So now at this point, we need to vote on the tax. I've got a copy of that somewhere. I'll take a look right quick. This is a refund approved by Ms. Reed and Mr. Fine for an amount of $2,576. So it's plus interest. Going to Newport Manor Limited Partnership, correct?
Yeah, it's a state appeal. Our hands are tied on that.
Okay.
They appealed it, took it to state judge made a decision, we have to give them a
All
refund.
right. So, voice vote, okay? All right, so do we have a motion to approve this? Mr. Lehman, Mr. Hudson? Yes. And we'll do a roll call voice vote on this, please, since it is money.
Andy Ford, Bill Miller,
Yes.
Caleb Blazer. Yes. Jason McMahon,
Yes.
Norman Smith.
Yes.
Tracy Stepp, Jonathan Tinkland,
Yes.
Jeff Esslinger,
Yes.
Dan Bright,
Yes.
Wilma Bob,
Yes.
Rick Vassar,
Yes.
David Fairwell,
Yes.
Tim Lehman,
Yes.
Billy Batson.
Yes.
All right, that motion carried. Next thing on the agenda was Donna's joking. She's not here. I was told she's not going to be here. Right? Okay, thank you. Anything else under miscellaneous?
How about the Cowboys?
Oh my goodness. Mr. Bryant?
That'll work.
Mr. Bryant?
I have requested repeatedly on those signs that I mentioned in the last meeting. I've still not got them. They
Okay.
put the old signs up, which slowed it somewhat, but it's still going strong.
All right, can we please request that Bullet come to the next meeting?
Yes.
Is that okay? You okay with it? Okay. All right, I agree. I asked and I was told they take care of it. So, all right, anything else? We have a motion to adjourn. All those in favor say aye. Aye.